Ew, my collar. I hate popped collars. Hi, everyone, and welcome to my mini podcast. So, I had a regular podcast, but I decided that I'm gonna put that on pause and come back to that at another point in life because podcast episodes are just too long. And I know I can make like short episodes, but I wanted to start a podcast because I have so many thoughts in my head, and it's just like I need to be able to speak these. That's my cat. I wanted a podcast because I was like, I have so many like thoughts that come to mind and like they're good thoughts. So I was like, I might as well have a podcast. Yeah, so I decided to start a podcast, but I have a stutter and it's kind of annoying. So for now, I'm gonna be moving my podcast here. Look at him. Y'all, he's so cute, but he's so bad. Okay, so in today's mini podcast episode, I want to talk about something on my way home. I was thinking about this. An apology without change is manipulation, right? And if someone tells you that they love you, you're supposed to, like, if someone tells you that they love you, like, if someone tells you, oh my gosh, Jaden, when people say things to you and they don't really mean them, it's like it can be manipulation, or it can just be a lie. Or it can just be a lie, or it can be like immaturity. It can be a lot of things. But there's a lot of reasons why people say stuff to us, don't always mean it. There's some people who have said they loved me and have said like we're like this, and have hurt me really bad. And there's some people who have hurt me really bad, but there's a difference between, like, for me and my experiences, there's a difference between hurting someone really bad and it just genuinely being like, ooh, damn, like, I didn't know that because, I didn't know that that was like a boundary you had. I didn't know that that was something that you didn't like. I didn't know that that was something that you. Guys, let's say better. But, like, for example, in 10th grade, my friend thought I was being fake towards him because he thought he thought this girl I was friends with didn't like him, and he thought I was switching up and blah, 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 blah. He thought I was being fake, and I was like, that's not the case. Like, she's scared of you, babe. You're intimidating. Like, he was hella bitter about it. Like, he had posted on his Snapchat story, like, Gigi is so fake. But, like, it was like a joking thing, but like that has still hurt me because I'm like, okay, but you know me, like, why would you like even joke like that? And we had talked about it, and we've never had a problem like with that type of thing since. And that really had hurt me because I'm like, because that had been done to me before, where it was just like someone just misunderstood. It wasn't like they even misunderstood. It was just that had been done to me before, and I didn't like it. And me and him talked about it, and we squashed it. Yeah, that's an example of like what I mean by like people who love me who have hurt me, because that really hurt me because I can't explain why I did, but it just like really hurt me, and like it put me in a lot of stress. And when I never told him like how much stress it put me under. And it didn't put me like under an immense amount of stress, but like in the other times where that has been done to me, it put me under a lot of stress because it's just like, these are my friends, and they're saying that I'm like not a good friend, and they're saying that I'm like, not even saying that I'm not a good friend, because I know a bitch who will try to be like, well, a good friend to you might not be a good friend to somebody else. Bitch, shut up. I'm talking about a nigga saying like you're toxic, you're manipulative. Like, I've never manipulated nobody in my fucking life. Like, unless when I was a child, But I did tell him that, like, I told him once about, like, my social anxiety, and just, like, a little bit of, like, it was something similar to that. And he was like, wow, like, I never knew that. And I was like, damn, you, like, didn't know that I had social anxiety? Sorry, I forgot to tell you. I didn't know that that was, like, that would interfere, I didn't know that you would clash with this action or whatever. And sometimes it hasn't always just been like, oh, I was so oblivious. But sometimes people do make mistakes. Sometimes people do things knowing that there might be a consequence, but sometimes we just do it anyways. Like, when I was younger and I used to do stuff that my mom didn't tell me to do just because I thought she wouldn't find out. Like, I wasn't like a horrible, bad kid. It's just I didn't think I was going to get caught. So I didn't think I was going to get in trouble. I've had people who have like said they loved me and said they, cared about me and acted like they did, and then just totally, like, it's not even that they did anything like super fucked up to me. It's the fact that You didn't have my best interest in, like, when you were with me, you didn't have my best interest in mind and in heart. And sometimes people have been like selfish and have kind of used me to get like their own egotistical, because it's always egotistical, like use me to like get their, just get, make themselves feel better in some way. Like better as in, like, see, you can use me to make you feel better, like if you're sad and you need someone to talk to, like that's using me to make you feel better, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like using me, the feelings that I'm having and the pain that I'm going through, and because you're going through a similar pain, you are like, oh yeah, this, like, you know, just kind of like, you know, feeding me the support that I feel that I need and the support that I'm obviously looking for, but you're not really like hearing me out and having empathy. You're just, the way I'm feeling, it lines up with how you're feeling, and so it makes you feel more just like whatever, like, you know, that's the type of situations I've been in, yes, what I'm saying about that stutter. That's the type of situations I've been in, and it's just like, well, that wasn't love, like that wasn't you being supportive, that was you being selfish in that moment and making. And so then I was struggling extra hard because then I had somebody who was giving me just bad advice. And when I talk to my mom about it, sometimes she's just like, well, sometimes people don't know. And yes, that's true, but people still have to be held accountable for it, because in your life, like, you don't have to go to nobody and be like, you're this, you're that. Like, people have tried to do that to me and like have been so wrong too. So I've learned from other people doing that to me, like, you're this, you're hella this. Like, you don't have to go to people and do that, but you do have to acknowledge it and address it in your like brain, so that you know the next time you come across a situation that resembles pieces of what you experienced in your last situation, you don't get played again. So yeah, people saying they love you and people loving you are two different things. Sometimes people can say they love you and just straight up lie. People can say they love you and just not really know what love is. But I think for me, if someone says they love me, I really appreciate someone telling me they love me, but I also appreciate me actually feeling that somebody loves me. Like, I love when people, it's the small things. It's the small thing. It's like the small things. It's the thoughtful things that really show like a lot about how somebody like just thinks of you. Cause like, I feel like the people that I love, they just always run across my mind just all the time. Like, all of the things run across my mind that I love. But the people that I love run across my mind a lot. So I'm always thinking about the people I love, which is why I like to do stuff for the people that I love. And I can't always do the same thing for everybody, and I can't always do it all the time, but I try to find ways to show people that I love that I'm thinking about them and that I care for them. I have to find my phone. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I try to find ways to show people that like I care about them and that I love them. And I'm trying to think of a time where so there's a time where I did love somebody, but my actions weren't like reflecting that. My actions were showing that I very much did not trust this person, and that I didn't that I didn't trust them. So it was hard for me to love somebody that I didn't trust, because I couldn't like trust them. I couldn't even get, it wasn't like it's really hard to love somebody. Even if you do love them, it is hard to show love for somebody if you do not trust them. To like add clarification to that, it's hard to show your love for people when you're too preoccupied with like your own insecurities. So like, oh, like, why would this person ever love me? Why would this person ever really truly care about me? Like, you limit yourself and the way that your relationship with this person can grow by being so insecure and not having like trust in yourself. Because when you feel like, why would this person love me, you don't love yourself. Because why wouldn't they love you? Why? Ask yourself why and answer. If you have an answer, then think about that. And I've learned that because it's hard for someone to show love for me when they don't like me. So loving others is really important, but it's also important to believe that you are loved. It's so important to to know that you are loved by the people who you surround yourself with. Like, for instance, my mother, like, when I feel like really down sometimes, I've just been reminding myself, like, at least my mom loves me. Like, at least I know for 100% certain that I have somebody that I trust, that I love 100%. Even when my mom, like, says things to me that are hard to hear, I still listen to her, because I'm like, I know that this person, not even just my mom, this person is not going to say something to me that I shouldn't trust. Like, I trust my mom with everything. I listen very openly. I'm usually very, like, what kind of advice, like, how can I listen to my mom? Like, how can she help me? But also, I've learned that with family and friends and all of that, sometimes it is better to, well, it depends on where you are, but sometimes it's good to, like, just keep, certain things to yourself. Like, just, work on yourself. And, like, it's good to rely on other people, but it's also good to just come to yourself and keep your feelings to yourself and just have fun with other people. Because I was thinking in the car as well, like, this is why people don't be telling people this is why people don't be, going to people for advice, because it's just that sometimes when you go to people for advice all the time and they give you advice and you usually follow it, sometimes it can feel like, well, for me specifically with my mom, like, it can feel like, if I have asked her for advice for something and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have done that, I want to go back and do something else, it can sometimes feel like, well, again, because it's my mom, it can feel like I'm not listening, so that means that something negative is going to happen, or I might be making the wrong choice because I'm not listening to what my mom told me. But it's not just with my mom that I feel that way. Like, in the past, it's been with my friends. Like, it's literally been with my friends where it's like, ooh, but, like, I already told them that I'm not going to do this. Like, huh? It's your life. Like, literally, it is your life. You have to feel everything. Like, you got to feel it all. So there was a situation where, just like, and this has happened to me multiple times actually, like, where one person, I'm having a problem with one friend, and another friend chimes in and says, well, this, and you're like, yeah. And then I think back and I'm just like, maybe that wasn't, like, maybe she wasn't right. But I can't blame her, because it's like, I'm the one that motherfucking felt it too. Like, I believe that shit too. So I can't even be mad at nobody but myself. And that's the worst thing, when you gotta be mad at yourself. When you gotta be mad at yourself, like, that is horrible. When there's nobody to blame but you, that's like the ultimate betrayal. Like, how could I have done that? So yes, that is my little podcast episode for tonight. I'm sorry if I look really shiny and oily. It's hot. It is hot. You guys are gonna always see me in this little get up because this is my house sweater. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini podcast episode. I gotta figure out what to call it, but I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next post. Bye.